declared Ken Oforiatta a fugitive from justice. He says either he returns to the country or he'll be forced to return. One man who's always been, calling for some form of a prosecution is Martin Kwebu, but unfortunately, he's unhappy. Martin Kwebu, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Morning.
Great, Martin.
Morning.
Yes. So, the special prosecutor has declared Ken Oforiatta a fugitive, a wanted man. You don't seem happy. Why?
Yeah. So, once again, before I delve into the question, JFM, thank you very much for safeguarding our democracy. We implore you to continue to do that job, that you don't allow politicians to misgovern this country.
Sure.
So you guys, thank you. Thanks a lot, you and Sanamwa, Kujo Yang, Raymond Akwa, Samuel Dami, etc., etc. Yes, we have to continue repeating this. We have to laud you for the work you do, right? Because you are the protectors of our democracy. Very, very, very important. Yeah, so, listen, I'm not happy because Kisi Ejabe is very lackadaisical in this investigation.
Oh.
Very lackadaisical. This, SMS at National Cathedral, etc. These are cases that have been with us for years. Kisi Ejabe took office in August, was it September 2021? National Cathedral has been on since 2017. And let's say the time government started putting in money, which raised a lot of concerns, was from 2019, right?
Yes.
So how come Kisi Ejabe sat on his hands all these years, and Nanda Oforiatta says he's going for medical treatment, then Kisi Ejabe says he's wanted? It doesn't add up at all. Yes, no. The context is that we all know Ikufo-Addo had been interfering in the work, and we kept complaining that he was interfering, right? But the reason I will not excuse Kisi Ejabe for this particular one is that for National Cathedral, a lot of the were out there in the public domain. The NGC fought a good fight. They were able to expose government spending money when government of Ikufo-Addo said initially that, it's going to be private sector led. And then he went on and gave land. Then he started pumping in money, which is now about $58 million. So my point is that these facts are publicly known. Why couldn't you invite Oforiatta? Yes. Come to SML. SML came out December 2023. So you had the whole of 2024. You didn't take action. Yes, if you are investigating, that's why I said it's like a technical. It was too slow. Kukwasa. No. And OSP got over 200 staff. At least on paper, they were giving clearance to hire 230. I like making the argument that let's even assume 50 declined the job offers. So he got at least 180 from about September 2023. That was even before the SML matter broke. So those new staff would have had some months of orientation and getting used to the job. SML broke in December 2023. So you see that OSP had a lot of staff. So I expected that he will put some staff on these cases. They will eat, drink, sleep, work, do everything SML, do everything National Cathedral. So if this wasn't done, then you wait till after December 2024. And then when Oforiatta says he's traveling, then you say that's the time you want him, he declare him wanted. No, we all know that. Listen, I've had cause to say Oforiatta has done a lot of bad things. We are accusing him of corruption, etc. But I'm a lawyer. I deal with facts. The facts on the table today don't enable me to say anything against Oforiatta. Rather, the facts point to Kisi's managerial abilities. They come into grave question. There are serious questions to answer about his managerial abilities. How? There are so many staff. How many are these cases?
Yeah, but Martin, you would agree that investigations take. It's been SML has been with us since 2023 December, but he now feels that the time is right to invite Ken Ofori-Atta. How is that lackadaisical?
It is. Wilson, when the president gave the job to KPMG to do the audit is also investigation, right? It's a form of investigation. Eventually, didn't KPMG finish? Did it take more than 3 months?
No, I think initially it was 6 months, then they requested additional time. I'm not sure it went beyond 3 months, no.
Exactly. I'm telling you that we need to scrutinize the office of special prosecutor. It's turned into something else. I'm telling you, that is where our scrutiny should be. Because already I've told you that there's a big loophole in the law. Do you see that, Winston, today, if you took a petition to the OSP, from the receptionist straight, it goes to Kisi Ejabin. So if Kisi Ejabin reads a petition, and let's say he likes the person or he has a special relationship with the person named in the petition, he can sit on that petition. And that's it. The rest of his directors have no visibility on that petition. Until Kisi Ejabin releases this petition to the rest of the directors, there will be no investigation. That is very, very undemocratic. It's a dangerous practice. That's a very dangerous practice in our fight against corruption. Why? Kisi is not the epitome of all knowledge in the law. No. Kisi doesn't have all the knowledge. No. So that's why there are other specialists, director of investigations, director of prosecutions, etc. All I'm saying in one statement is that we need to amend the law and make it clear that when a petition is presented, it should go to a committee of crack prosecutors and investigators. It cannot lie with only the special prosecutor. It's a big avenue for corruption. Very, very big avenue for corruption. It's like you move first, this is 2 steps forward and then 4 backwards.
You don't trust the special prosecutor to be above any influence?
Hey, listen, I beg you, we are human beings. Let's not make that mistake. That's what we did with our constitution, and today we are suffering. We put all the powers, when I say powers, all the powers practically in the hands of the president. And you see, I always say it that Atamils is my man. Apart from Atamils, the rest haven't done that too well, okay? Yes. When is the next time we're going to get somebody like Atamils? Of course, JM has come back. This time he looks like he'll do far better. We hope he continues. But it's early days yet to start celebrating. Ekufuado came, even 1 year, he couldn't beat JM in the corruption fight. 8 straight years, he couldn't beat JM, the corruption perception index. He underperformed 8 years. The 43, which was Ekufuado's highest mark, that was JM's lowest, right? Ekufuado got 43 for about 4 years. That was James' lowest. So my point is that the presidents we've been getting, they are not saints. The OSP we are going to be getting are not also saints. So write the law in a manner that even suspects the boss. Yes, write it in a manner that suspects the boss. That's the way we make progress. Kisi told you that he doesn't consecrate saints. And we are all human beings. So we are fallible. So putting all this together, I'm actually upset that he's done this like a technical work, and now that he needs Ofori-Atta is not around. It's bad because you see, once this is medical too, we have to be careful. If you want to use Gestapo style to deal with Ofori-Atta, touch wood. If you do and he dies, that will be another thing altogether. You remember how Kwame Nkrumah didn't take care and J.B. Dankwa died, and it has continued to be a blow to Kwame Nkrumah's legacy, even though overall he did well. So let's tread cautiously with the way we are dealing with Ofori-Atta. He says he's sick. Let's do due process. Kisi should take a flight, go there, and ascertain for himself. Of course, he can also go through processes, and then, as I said, ascertain whether Ofori-Atta is fit enough to write his statement, do those things. If it's not, unfortunately, we have to wait. It's a lesson to us.
Martin, is there anything wrong with the man saying, I am unavailable to attend to your engagements this morning, Special Prosecutor, but I have legal representation and that they are capacitated and mandated to give you all the information you want on my behalf. Is there really anything wrong with that?
A lot wrong with that.
Okay.
So, Raymond, like I know you know it, but you have to add to that answer. And now, laws are specific, country specific. In Ghana here, is the accused, or let's say suspect, who has to answer for himself. But the lawyer will sit by him so that as and when the investigator asks a question that has the potential of making the accused incriminate himself, the lawyer will advise him, if you say anything against yourself, you put yourself in jeopardy. You are not obliged to. So all I'm saying is that you always need, the suspect or accused or person of interest to be there before the lawyer can be of help to him. If, let's say, OSP, under their law, they can ask operator to produce some documents. If it had been an order for production that was made, then the operator hands over those to the lawyers to go present. Yes. And then when it comes to court, there's a small class of cases that the lawyer can appear and plead for the client. That's motor traffic. Yeah, just very few. It's not corruption and corruption-related offenses. So, in view of that, the lawyers can perform that job for Riata.
Can he not also be allowed space to recover before this matter proceeds?
Yes, so that's what I said. I remember the way J.B. Dankwa died. Sometimes when I look at the letter, J.B. Dankwa wrote to Parliament, I'm not well, blah, blah, blah. The Speaker of Parliament at the time snubbed J.B. And then we all know how J.B. died. It's a blot on our history. So I want us to tread cautiously. That's why I said, in this case, Kisi should go to the U.S. Ufurata is shown where he's going to receive medical care. He should go sit and be given as much information as the law would allow. Your medical history and those things, they are largely private. But within the law, there can be some exceptions. So he should go explore that, and let's see. Let's tread cautiously. I don't want another J.B. Dankwa kind of death. Let's learn. We had all these years. If we couldn't do it, let's not go and bring more trouble. It's like the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Okay.
You're trying to solve one problem today, then you create another one. No. Tread cautiously. You should go to the U.S. and ascertain.
Very well. Now, is the OSP within its rights to also perceive that I take your initial commentary or response as substantive, that you have no plans of returning and that you will be absent indefinitely, and so I am declaring you wanted?
What I say is that no, I don't think you should do so. Yes, I see that it will make him look at the way should it. No, let me not complete that sentence. I don't think so. You see, the reason I don't think so is that this is a criminal matter.
Okay.
An accused in his defense can try to lie, put so many impediments in the way of the law. Okay? But his thing is that he's not a judge, right? It's when the person is in the dock, gives this statement, and then turns a U-turn, etc. Then the judge can look at it and assess. But even in a criminal matter, you can't just say because he made a U-turn, if so facto he's guilty. It's a very complex matter, so let's leave it. Okay. So what I think we should do, like I'm coming back to the same point.
Before you proceed on that point, I want some understanding of what all of this mean, because the question that's also been asked is, can the OSP on its own declare the former finance minister wanted and label him a fugitive of the law?
Okay. So for that one, going by the practice, it's not strange. It can be done.
Okay.
The reason it can be done is that if you look at the OSP Act, the OSP has police powers. I think is that section 28. Let me see if I can get my section of the law if we can read. Yes, officers who exercise powers of police. So let's read section 28. The special prosecutor and authorized office officers shall exercise the powers of a police officer specified in the Criminal and Other Offences into brackets Procedural Act 1980, 1960, Act 30, or any other enactment. Okay, good. So OSP has police powers. And by the practice in this country, usually police declare people wanted. I'm not aware of a judicial decision that says that you have to convict before you say he's wanted. No. Rather, when police need somebody to come stand trial and he absconds, and they make the publication in the newspapers that they are looking for him. Other times, they specifically go for a court order. So the practice is mixed. Sometimes police just publish. Other times they say no, they want a court order. So that place is fluid. Once I've not seen a court decision that says that if you just publish it straight away without a court order, it is illegal, then it means that we can continue to do it. Yes.
How about the declaration that he is a fugitive from the law?
My understanding is fugitive just means a person running away from justice, a person running away from criminal proceedings. And so in this case, because they wrote to him that they need him to come and answer, and yet he went away. Once again, in the absence of a decision of the court saying you can't say that, I think fugitive in this case is okay. Because basically it just means somebody running away from justice, running away from accountability. Yes.
It must sound like comparing apples to oranges, but are people justified in comparing the razzmatazz around this particular case to what happened in the Cecilia Dapa case?
Are people justified in comparing?
Yes. That were given a certain hopeful beginning by the OSP, which ended up being much ado about nothing.
Okay. No, it's been that matters. This with the Cecilia Dapa case. For me, I think it's so positive, right? Positive because you see all these interviews, etc. That's also accountability. Yes, accountability is not only when the person has been convicted and is in Sawam. No, when you ask questions, when you interrogate, you mention his name. Where are you? Where is this? Even on radio like this, it's a form of accountability. So I don't belittle what happened in the Cecilia Dapa matter. It's good. We did what we could, right? And so in the absence of clear evidence that the OSP deliberately botched the investigations, I would not belittle the razzmatazz around the Cecilia Dapa matter. And in the same manner, I won't belittle what we are doing today, except that I expect that we learn that this particular one, I'm not impressed. The OSP was lackadaisical.
There is a lot of pressure on the OSP recently. I mean, there's a new government, a government which did not set it up. And some say this is an attempt to justify that it should continue its existence, despite the fact that this existence is grounded in law.
Now, say that again.
The argument is that all that the OSP is doing is merely to justify its existence because there's a new government, because there are other things coming up. There are people who may not even believe in the existence in the first place. Regardless of the fact that a law establishes that office, do you think all of this is part of a certain quest to show proof that we still need an OSP?
Okay, good. Raymond, so I'm learning quickly. Democracy is crowd wisdom. When you see a lot of people saying what you are saying, be very careful not to dismiss them. Be very careful. Those are citizens' opinions. It's based on what they have also seen, right? I can't dismiss that. In actual fact, we should give a lot of room for the naysayers, for the doubting Thomases, yes, to advance that argument strongly. Because the more they advance that argument that is just showmanship to justify their existence, it also then puts Kisi in the spotlight. It challenges him, it pushes him to up his game. So I would say that give it more vent. That's how a democracy survives. Let's not shut them down. Except for me, because it's in law, and where I'm sure because you also have legal training, so we know that, it's in law. Nobody has presented a bill to Parliament that they want to cancel OSP. So because of that, I don't think that they needed to do what they did yesterday in order to justify their existence. No. But as I said, let's be careful. Democracy is crowd wisdom. Let other people's opinion also have space. It's good. It helps. It's an eclectic approach.
Overall, do you think that this special prosecutor has slipped out to his billing?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm sure. I mean, without question, it hasn't lived up to his billing. But the reasons are many. Some of them are from Ekufado's refusal to resource the office properly. Others too is the way the law was made. As I've said, we've put too much power in the hands of one man, just like we've done to our constitution, and we are suffering. Okay? Yes. And also the number 3, the consciousness of the Ghanaian. Yes, it's also a factor. Yes, JFM, you have done your bit like now we are doing. But we need more Ghanaians to get involved, more of the experts who are choosing not to speak just because you'll be tagged NDC or MPP. So we need more citizen participation, right? Because the conversations have to continue like this. As we continue, then we refine ourselves, and then even the rules become better. You see how yesterday Dr. Ayene now came up with reasons, despite the fact that neither Article 88 nor Section 54 and 59 of the Act 30 compel him to give a reason. But it's public opinion. What we've been doing on radio, asking him questions, trying to hold Ayene to account, force him to do that, right? So Ghanaians need to also wade in. More Ghanaians need to wade in so that we strengthen the institution.
So, Martin, in this case, now that the special prosecutor is investigating the National Cathedral, what happens to Oral's, preliminary work and subsequent handing over to the attorney?
Good. So, as you said, as part of setting up ORA, it was made clear that whatever report we come up with will be handed over to the Attorney General, which has been done. So the Attorney General simply, in this case, well, it's not simply, sometimes we use some words inappropriately. Yeah, so our Attorney General, as part of his work, eventually may have to hand over what we've written on the National Cathedral to the OSP, right? And if we find that there are other parts of the report that do not necessarily belong in the realm of the OSP, those other public institutions like Yoko, etc., will also be given the report to look at their side of it. So, like you say, Namduduan saying, we couldn't have just looked at National Cathedral and said, it appears OSP is investigating it. So, we should ignore the petitions that were brought in that National Cathedral be looked at. No, we have to take into consideration everything that citizens brought to us.
To your legal mind, which institution is best placed and which individual leading the two institutions is best placed to deal with this matter comprehensively? And I'm talking specifically about the National Cathedral matter.
I would not subscribe to just one individual because, as I've already said, when you go to OSP, too much power is in one hand. Mm-hmm. So it's good that you have all the institutions whose mandate is invoked also looking. Like we say, 2 heads are better than one. So they should work together. National Cathedral, you see the main part we're seeing so far is procurement breaches and also causing financial loss. Causing financial loss belongs to the Attorney General. It's not OSP, right? And also if money laundering comes up, then it's Yoko. So for now, I think this current arrangement, so it's okay. 2 heads are better than one. If they begin to do infighting, theft wars, I'm sure JFM, you will get wind of it, and then we will bring them here and push, and I'm sure we will get better outcomes. So let all of them have a say.
All right, Martin Pibu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Martin Pibu is a private legal practitioner.
You're welcome.
But just before you go, because you talked about the Attorney General's press conference, briefly, what do you make of the reasons given for the nolli prosequi?
Oh, excellent. Yeah, Ray. This is Winston. Thank you. Some of them, no brainer. We all knew. Number one, Atu Fortune's case. I mean, come on, that's a case that the trial judge should have stopped from day one. It was so scandalous. Under our law, under the common law, if a judge finds that a prosecutor is using a criminal trial to solve personal vendetta, etc., they stop it. They stop it. Yes, because the court processes are not used for that. It's not to score political points. You hear in the tape, Godfrey Dami complained that it's Ukuriata and Ekufuado who are on his neck, pushing him to get a conviction at all costs. Two, you hear in the tape, Godfrey Dami asking Japa to go and procure a fake medical certificate. That's not allowed. Three, you hear Godfrey Dami coaching Japa to go and give false testimony, perjury. It's not allowed. So that case should have been stopped. It's an embarrassment to us as a nation. So it's good Ayene has stopped it. Now, because I'm certain you can't give me time to analyze all, I'll rush straight to the one I'm interested in so that we'll keep our radar on it. The Collins Dada case, please. Ayene said, yes, that the contractor, etc., was said to have been paid 200 million. But since some work had been done, he expected that the work would have been valued and deducted from the 200 million. So all well and good. He should go ahead, commission the value for money audit, etc. Let's do the deduction. And then, if there is a balance, we are going to pursue it. So I beg you.
Hold on a second. Are you suggesting that on that score, Ayine gets it wrong and that the remainder, that the Honorable Collins Dowda should be charged with misapplication of the remainder and not just wholesale that because some work has been done, you are free to walk?
Yes, if after the value for money audit, we find out that, yes, there's a remainder. Yes. So we have to first go through that process. And I hope that civil society will also be given space. If they are asking someone to do value for money audit, I beg Dr. Ayune to bring experts, include a person chosen by civil society, so that the person would represent us, right? So that they do the value for money audit, etc., and come out so that we see how much work was done. What's the value? If they end up saying that the 1,500 units is equivalent to $200 million, okay, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So please, the Collins Dowda matter there is not dead. We have to pursue a value for money audit. Let's see, are we owed balance? So he said that Tatiana also paid $5 million and something dollars to the contractor. Yes, let's do the value for money audit.
So is it the case? Is it the case that you don't believe that this case should end, and that is a case you want continued?
Based on the evidence, that's so. What I'm saying is that if the evidence comes and shows that there is a balance owed, yes, they should either bring it or we go back to court. And that's why I'm also saying, Winston, let me repeat, we don't just want government doing the value for money audit. Let's get an independent panel. Let's also have a say about those who do the audit. People chosen by civil society should also be on the panel, the team to do the value for money audit. Because if not, there are various methods for doing value for money audit. Winston, you are also an accountant, right? You know, various ways they can do it. Accountants, they can send the figures, creative accounting, and come out and say, oh yes, we got value. And then that will be another problem. So we need an independent team of experts to do that value for money audit.
Now, it's interesting. I want to also bring in the thoughts of Nana J. Beua. Last night, he told me on our front that it was possible to amend those charges without having to entirely withdraw them.
That would be unwieldy. You are talking about Collins Dowda.
Yes, in the case of, because it's a matter of facts about how much should be involved here. He is of the opinion that if that's the substantive matter, all that was required of the Attorney General was to make the corrections. In fact, You can actually amend it even if you have gone to trial, started a trial.
Yes, that's theoretically. But you see, it becomes unwieldy. You are thrown into a moving train. Sometimes you hardly get the opportunity to, sit down, buckle well, put your tackle together. Thankfully, he's brought a reason, and this is what he said. So let's take him on. Let's go and do the value for money audit. After all, the Collins Alder matter hadn't gone far. So then we just restart.
There is also another point raised during the Johnson Pandit Esiama case. It is the view of some, including Bafwewa, that if you take the view that the element to do with the breach of the Banking Act is not strong enough, and there is an opinion of such sort which has already been expressed, and you agree with the opinion, how about the other charge, the charge to do with the breach of fiduciary trust? He didn't see or hear the Attorney General comment on that. Is he also entitled to provide us reasoning why he believed that other charge should still be dropped?
Good. Raymond, it's been a long while. When these things came up, it's been years. I haven't had the opportunity to read through the charges and the facts since Dr. Yini started dropping the charges. So this one, if I dare say anything, I may just be using gut feeling. I don't think I should just rely on my memory. So maybe we can hang that. I'll look for the charges, read through the whole thing, and then I'm sure the next time we have an interview. But if you have them, please send to me. I changed my phone and lost a lot of these data. Then we can look through and then I'll answer subsequently.
All right, Martin Kwebu, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're grateful that you made time to join us. Martin Kwebu is a private legal practitioner sharing his thoughts on these issues. Stay with us. We'll return